Hi, I'm Julie Deline, founder of Move as One, author of the book Move to Create, and creator of the game Your Wise Moves. I'm happy to be here with you, and this is part 3 of Moving into Joy. My intention behind this is to prepare you or get you interested in understanding why it's important to play the game. So this part 3 is called Play the Game. Move into Joy, play the game. And what is that about? Why would you want to play the game? Well, as you watched one and two parts, part 1 and 2, you may understand what are the 3 treasures, the 3 energies of this world, the 3 refuges. And the part 2 was about the 5 mindful moves and the 5 elements and how we get stuck. And so this part 3 is play the game. And this is to be much more conscious of what we're creating and how we're transforming. So just understanding the energies behind it to create transformation and how to consciously create. That's what this is all about. So we can have fun doing that. Once you start to understand how to align your energies and integrate it mindfully into your body and into your body, brain, and breath. So that's what the 3 treasures are about. Heaven, earth, and humanity are about body, brain, and breath. And that process of understanding the nature of reality helps us move into this way very consciously, very gently, and bringing our awareness to the point where our awareness aligns with our actions and that it becomes much more wholesome. We come from a wholesome action, we understand and we expand and we relax into the whole. When we relax into the whole, there's a point of us having to let go of our identity, let go of our ego, let go of things that keep us stuck, the things that we think are real, and we start to open up to a much more effortless flow. That just takes a lot of stages and a lot of ways of getting to a new understanding of who we truly are, that we are a movement of nature, that we don't stay the same, that we're always changing, that our time on earth is not infinite. So there's a point of understanding what parts of life do we want to hold on to? What parts are we to let go of? And how do we do this consciously? Obviously, our bodies are going to leave. So we have to use our bodies to be as mindful and connected in this time period as we can possibly be. So there's 3 things in playing the game that's important. One is to begin with questions. And we begin with a question or an intention, something that you know that you are already intending and focusing and directing the energy. But you can find that by identifying what feels stuck. What do you want to grow? What is bothering you? Those are some ways of getting to a good question or a good intention, and you begin that before you enter into playing the game. The second part about this that's important to understand is to understand that it's about the whole. It's about understanding that we're expanding and relaxing into the whole and getting to wholesome intentions and actions where our awareness aligns with the actions and the energy that comes from a whole part of who we are, understanding that we are part of the whole. So letting go of stuck thoughts or old ways of thinking about ourselves, or feeling that tightness of judgment that constricts us, or that tightness of anger or fear or doubt or worry. Letting all those go and allowing ourselves to get into wholesome actions by getting into that position of joy, by allowing ourselves to come to a wholesome and conscious movement with joy. So this is not about just being frivolous and allowing our senses to take over, but to align our awareness with our senses, our body, and our higher connection. So that brings us into an effortless flow. An effortless flow is in tune with natural energy. And that means our head, heart, hips, and body all are aligned. So let's take a look at what some of these cards are. We'll start with the very first one, which I like to start with, which is much more of the yin side, which is to observe, to be reflective, to identify, here's where I'm at, this is who I am, this is where I'm at right now. How did I come to be this person? What are the thoughts, what are the circumstances and experiences that brought me to this awareness? So there's 30 cards in each deck. We pick a card and we'll use this together. So the question I got is, how are you limiting yourself? How are you limiting yourself? And the fun way to do that is to say, how does it feel? How can you demonstrate it in your body? So let's just take 2020 and how it felt. It felt maybe, or it felt heavy, or it felt confusing, or, just demonstrate how that feels in your body. Maybe your shoulders have winded down a little bit and you're not feeling that expression of your heart opening up as much. I know that happened for me. There were times where I felt like, oh, everything is so heavy, everything is so challenging, that there's a little bit of wanting to give up, putting the head down, feeling that giving up experience. So that helps us connect with, how do we truly feel? Can't just move into joy without knowing where we're at. Second is to open ourselves up, to feel ourselves connect to a higher wisdom. So this is a good question of opening ourselves up to the world. If we could be anywhere in the world, if we could connect with another family, if we could find a way to connect with other parts of our family, where would we want to go? Who would we want to be with? How do we want to connect with them? And the beauty of what's going on right now is we're doing that through Zoom. We are in quantum physics. I can be in your space through this video as you're watching. So you're sensing, you're feeling that. So we're connecting right now and reaching into a much more global atmosphere through the internet, through this experience of video, through this YouTube experience, we can connect. So just opening yourself up and imagining, who do you want to connect with? Who do you want to open up to? What families, what parts of the country do you want to experience and open up to? And I like to think about it as opening up to, where's my happy place? Where is that place that makes me feel more expansive? So that's the open phase. The next phase, then we ask a question and say, now how do I take all that wide open, expanded position of who I am, coming to that more open, watery place? And now we feed that to, what seedlings do I want to grow? Where do I really want to take and position myself? What is my true purpose? So the question to ask yourself from this card is, if others were requesting your services, what would you be doing? What would bring your heart to alignment where you'd feel full? If people were reaching out to you and saying, I want you, I want your support, I want to have your services, I want to have your products. So think about what that is if people are reaching out. So the globalness of expanding ourselves and then identifying it, how we're going to put it into some form, some planting of seeds, bringing it up. Then we move it into consciousness, into the fire, the movement of life that expands and connects us, that engages us all. And the question is, how can you engage with others? How can you engage with others and make it memorable? What is it that you want to do that would really significantly improve other people's lives? How do you want to make that a memory for them? How do you want to be so engaged with others that they won't forget you? So that connection is what I like to call from our heart, from our heart to our hands to each other. So making this movement memorable and taking a moment to connect your hand to my hand and feeling my heart come out to you. By connecting our hearts, we join together in this wholesome, intentional action that we can create and join together and weave together a much better world. We can co-create a better world. The fifth phase then is to put that into and sustain it. So each of these decks there's 30 of them. Sustain it with some movement that is sustainable, that's a practice, that becomes a habit that we want to continue to do over and over and over. So the question is, how can you continue to play the game? What part of the game do you want to put some more emphasis on? How do you start to sustain that? And how do you continue to play the game so that you move much more into an open, expanded, and effortless flow of who you are and what you're creating, being moved to create. Look, moved to create. So check out my website for more information. I'm doing a Move into Joy retreat. Please check that out. You can find it on Eventbrite or you can find it on my website. My website is move-as-one.com. As we move as one, we join into a wholesome, interconnected, expanded sense of who we are together. Thank you for joining me. And I wish you a great year in 2021. May we all feel whole, connected, expanded, and full of love, full of love. Thank you.